Boom, 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 boom. Now tell me what you gonna do, but it ain't nowhere to run. When judgment comes for you, when judgment comes for you, tell me what you gonna do, when it ain't nowhere to hide. When judgment comes for you, 'cause it's gonna come for you.
Making it for water, easy, see something Charlie. Little boo guy's got him, and I'm gonna miss everybody out of row and flow like I ain't looked at a while. Like I'm praying for dust, and they play too deep for being sad. Little legs I got to be. Tell me your feature deceased, would it please? Marry me by my grand, when you can go follow
God bless you, working on the plan to heaven. Follow the Lord all 24/7 days. God is
Back on Wrestling Network. Welcome back to the CrosUp, your weekly look back at the week that was in professional wrestling. This week I'll be running through the results happening from Raw on 4/21, which is April 21st, to Collision just last night on April 26th. Start with Raw. John Cena starts things out as he's the new WWE champion as of WrestleMania. He comes out with he did this at WrestleMania, but he came out with just a basic black screen that just basically says his name. Cena doesn't really get, he has his own special ring introduction, so he doesn't let the ring announcer announce him to the ring. So he hands him a piece of paper, tells him to do it. It says he's the 17-time world champion, greatest of all time. And then he grabs the mic and says he doesn't owe any of us an apology. He says on Friday everyone bullied him, but now he has some gold and the people want to cheer him. That is an unhealthy relationship and not the way you treat your wife or your child, so you shouldn't treat him any differently. People should give him an apology, and we actually get a "we're not sorry" chant from the crowd. Cena then says the people are pathetic and mean nothing to him before soaking in some chants that they rain in on him. He has taken all kinds of shots over the years, and this isn't going to be the crowd that breaks him. What matters is the 36 dates that he signed for this last tour of his last year. No matter what happens, Cena is on his way out and runs down the dates he has already appeared. That brings us down to 27 dates. He says that doesn't necessarily mean 27 matches, but just appearances. So he could come out 27 more times and cut this exact promo and never wrestle again. The fans say he doesn't wrestle or can't wrestle. But he doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. All he has to do is show up and do exactly what he's doing right now. When that countdown hits 0, the professional wrestling countdown stops cold. Now, of course, there will be another Raw and another champion, but the title Bruno Sammartino, Steve Austin, Roman Reigns, and everyone else has ever held is coming home with him, and no one will ever hold it again. All he has to do is keep playing us like the puppets we are, because they lost their best chance to stop him last night, which was Cody Rhodes. The reality is there's no one in WWE with the strength, speed, and ruthless aggression of John Cena. However, Cena has heart, so he tells us to take out their cameras, take pictures, because the last real champion is here. And then as Cena's about to leave, Randy Orton pops up behind him, and then Cena turns around, actually audibly says shit, and then gets RKO'd for his troubles. So with Backlash being in St. Louis, it was pretty clear-cut that him and Randy were probably going to have one last battle between the two of them, as they've been career-long rivals with each other. So it seemed like they were going to do it at some point, but with Backlash, the next big pay-per-view being in St. Louis, seems pretty much like a layup. So we'll go to our first match from there. Pretty light on matches on Raw tonight, so I think we only have 3 matches, but a bunch of promos. And a bunch of turns and returns and stuff like that. Speaking of turns, we'll get to our first one where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez win back their tag team championships that they had lost the previous. Can't remember if that was on Saturday or Sunday, but they lost the titles to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, but they win them back here when Lyra accidentally knocks Raquel into Becky and Liv hits Oblivion on Lyra, and they become the 4-time tag team champions together. And then after the match, Morgan and Raquel leave. And Becky Lynch absolutely erupts on Lyra, beating her down, screaming at her. Lynch then teases leaving a few times, but then she comes back and hits, I think, 3 or 4 manhandle slams on her. So we're obviously going for a Becky-Lyra rivalry going forward. As their short-lived team-up it had pretty immediate results, but then it pretty immediately turned. in the negative direction. Within the New Day, they're coming towards the ring. They walk past Karrion Kross and kind of get a nod of approval as, a few months ago, he was playing mind games with him, and seemingly they kind of went the way that they told him he should, or they should, I mean. So he kind of gives them the nod of approval. They come to the ring. They tell us to get down on our knees and thank God for them. They are the greatest of all time, and no one, dead or alive, can touch them. The Alpha Academy, they come out with Maxine Dupree. She brings up the fact that they beat them in 60 seconds. The challenge, issue a challenge, and it is declined. Dupree dubs them the Minutemen at one point, and that's enough for the New Day to give them a title match. And a referee comes out. The New Day are the champions. They would be defending the belts in this situation, but the lights go dim, and Rusev makes his return. So the New Day bails, and Rusev destroys Tozawa and Otis with no trouble. And we do not get that match. So we did not get a tag title match, but the return of Rusev has been teased for a while. But he is back, and he is seemingly ready to wreck shop on Monday Night Raw. We then get the Judgment Day. They're celebrating their new titles when Finn comes in to kind of glare at Dom Mysterio, but Balor breaks into a smile and congratulates Dom for taking advantage of an opportunity that he saw. And then Carlito thinks him and Finn should get some titles of their own, implying that they should maybe go for the tag titles. We then get Io Sky. She's out to the ring for a promo. She says last night was the best night of her career because she beat the best in the world to prove that she is, in fact, the best in the world herself. Now no one will ever forget her because she is the genius of the Sky and the women's world champion. And then after she says that, Stephanie McCurr, who is the NXT women's champion, comes out to say she wants to fight the best as well. And the challenge is laid out for them to have a match. And then Adam Pearce comes out and makes the match official. So we will have Io Sky versus Stephanie McCurr. And Io Sky defeats her via disqualification when Roxanne Perez attacks Io. After the match, Julia also comes out, who is from NXT, runs in and goes after Io. And then Perez kind of goes after Vakur as she's going to face her on NXT tomorrow night. And then Rhea Ripley comes out and makes a save for both of them, has a little bit of a stare down with Julia. And then Roxanne and Julia bail. And then Ripley says she is coming for Io's title as they both kind of grasp it together. We then get Jey Uso out. He's out to have his World Heavyweight Championship celebration. He does the yeet over and over again. He says he is so grateful to finally have the title on his shoulder. He is ready to put in the work every week to keep it and ask for another yeet from the crowd. And then Sami Zayn comes out, gives Jey a big hug. He said it was hard for him to miss WrestleMania because just like Jey, he is a game day player and it is hard to not be in the ring. The thing is, he had to be the first one to stand in the ring and congratulate him on being the new champion. Every single person in this building knows that Jey deserves that, and we are here to celebrate. So they once again hit Jey's music. The celebration is on, and Jimmy Uso comes to join, and they continue to yeet with the crowd as they continue to celebrate. We then show a promo from the previous night where Logan Paul denied any knowledge of interference in his match and said he'll face anyone, anywhere, anytime. AJ Styles then cuts a promo, says he's okay with the loss last night, and he's ready to bounce back. Karrion Kross and Scarlett then come in and yell about Styles being the best around here, but now he's legitimized Logan Paul. Styles doesn't want to be the old evil version of himself before, and tells Kross to go solve the problem himself, and then Kross says maybe he will. We then come back from a commercial break, and Gunther is out yelling at the commentary team, getting on Michael Cole for saying negative things about him, talking about how he tapped out. Gunther then shoves McAfee and starts choking Michael Cole, and McAfee gets in a shot to kind of defend Cole. So the agents and the referees come out. Gunther then grabs a choke on Pat McAfee and chokes him out while trying to hold back some other people. Gunther is finally dragged off, and McAfee is revived, but he has to be helped to the back. After a break, Cole and McAfee are going to the trainer's room, and Joe Tessitore is taking over on commentary. Cole starts to go back to the ring, but Adam Pearce tells him to take the rest of the night off. Cole says Gunther might have broken his nose, but he isn't going to let some bully not let him do his job. We then go to our next match where Dom Mysterio defeats Penta via pinfall to retain his Intercontinental Championship following the return and interference from JD McDonough, which allows Dom to hit the 619 and the Frog Splash. We then get an old school type newsreel for El Grande Americano's big win at WrestleMania over Rey Fenix, including some shots of his massive celebration in the streets of Mexico. And then we get Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman out for a chat. The fans want CM Punk or Roman Reigns, but Rollins starts talking about how he's a visionary. He is also the winner of the WrestleMania main event, and CM Punk comes out. The brawl is on, and Punk turns his attention to Heyman, allowing Rollins to beat him down. Heyman says they're going to say this all the way until WrestleMania 42, but there is the reigning, defending, undisputed top star in WWE, and he is Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns then comes out to charge the ring and hit the spear on Rollins. That leaves Heyman all alone, and Reigns drops him with a Superman punch. A spear is loaded up, and Braun Breaker, of all people, comes out and cuts Roman Reigns off with a super spear of his own. Breaker and Rollins then have a stare down, and Breaker drops Punk as he seems like he's charging at Rollins with another super spear. Rollins then grabs Breaker and hugs him and tells him to take out Reigns again. Reigns then kind of fights back for a little bit with a shot to the face, but Breaker runs around the ring and hits a super spear through the barricade. Rollins then stomps Punk and poses with Heyman and Breaker, as we now have two Paul Heyman guys instead of just Rollins. So Rollins, Breaker, and Heyman seem to be quite the group that we're going to have going forward. They may add to it. They may just be the three of them, but we'll see as we kind of go forward. But like I said, kind of light on matches. Only 3 matches on the whole show. I'd say Vakur and EO was pretty good, but I would give the nod to the women's tag team title match. Just had a little bit more story to it during and after the match. So I think that one had a little bit more fire to it in the grand scheme of things. And obviously the Vakur EO match ended in a disqualification, so it took a little bit of life out of it. But I would give it to the women's tag match that kind of started the show match-wise. We'll then go to NXT. We open with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, who had won a number 1 contenders match at Stand and Deliver. Raquel hits the Tejana bomb on Dolan, and then Liv follows it with Oblivion, and they get the win. We then get Lexis King. He's still with Penn and Teller from Stand and Deliver. They bring his Heritage Cup back, but he has to admit that magic is real and that he will defend the cup tonight. He says it's a deal, and he gets his cup back as they bring it back in the magic trick. We then look at the NXT stars that competed at Bloodsport, which was over WrestleMania week last week. A couple of people competed in that. I think some of them won, some of them didn't, but they had a pretty good showing from what I've heard. We then get the Dark State. They're in the back. They mock the No Quarter Catch crew. Javon Evans then comes in, and a match is made for later between the Dark State and Javon and Miles Bourne. We then get Ricky Saints to the ring. He is happy that he has retained his championship, and even his mother doesn't think much of Ethan Page. Lexis King then comes in to interrupt and says while he's happy to have his cup back, he wants the North American title as well. King will even put the cup up in the match to make it title for title, and Ricky Saints says that works for him. We then get Thea Hale. She is happy with Hank and Tank and Sol Ruca winning their titles at Stand and Deliver. But Jada Parker and Fatal Influence aren't happy with Hale's energy. Jasmine Nix and JC Jane tell Fallon Henley to deal with her, and then they both leave. Henley says she will, since the two of them never could. And then we get our Heritage Cup match where a returning Noam Dar comes back and wins his baby, the Heritage Cup, defeating Lexis King via pinfall with a spinning back elbow. So he's the new Heritage Cup champion, as he is he's won it the most times. He's kind of synonymous with the cup. So as soon as he comes back, he wins it back. So it seems all right in the world. We then get Roxanne Perez. She is annoyed at people taking her spotlight and is ready to win her women's title back tonight. We then get Thea Hale defeating Fallon Henley via submission with the Kimura lock. Obafemi is then out to cut a promo. He gets right to the point and saying that he did exactly what he promised to do at Stand and Deliver. We get a lot of Oba chants before Femi praises Javon Evans for being better than he expected. He can't stand Trick Williams, though, because he is just that much better than Trick. Trick then comes out to say he wants one-on-one title shot, and here is Joe Hendry to interrupt him. He isn't feeling the same Trick that he tagged with last year. He sees a difference in him. The truth is that Trick is entitled instead of hungry, and he's just a whiny bitch. Trick then wants to talk about what he believes Hendry had his moment and just got beaten at WrestleMania. Hendry says, I was in the ring and you were in the stands. He'll be defending his title at Rebellion, but he has business with Obafemi. Trick then tries to get involved in their conversation and is quickly tossed away, leaving us with a Hendry and Obafemi stare down. We then get Luca Crucifino. He meets Stax in the desert. Crucifino yells at Stax for turning on the D'Angelo family and wants this to be solved. Stax then asks Crucifino if he knows why he was invited out into the desert, and Crucifino kind of realizes what's going on and says, oh, fuck, audibly. I mean, it obviously bleeps him out, but and then it kind of fades to black. We then get Sol Ruca. She's with Zarya, who's been our tag team partner. They're both happy with each other, but Liv and Raquel come in to mock both of them. Sol then tells them to get out and threatens to come for their tag titles. Trick then breaks a bunch of stuff backstage, and Ava throws him out of the building. We then get the Dark State represented by Dion Lennox and Osiris Griffin, defeating Javon Evans and Miles Bourne when they hit the double powerbomb on Bourne. And the rest of the No Quarter Catch crew is kind of on the stage, and they show some disapproval with how Miles performed in the match. We then get Sean Spears. He was talking to Ava when Yoshiki Inamura comes in, saying it is time for him to go back to Pro Wrestling Noah. He wanted to win the tag titles before he left, so Ava actually gives him one more shot next week. And then Briggs asks how he got them a title shot, and Inamura just basically says an old Japanese secret. So we will have Hank and Tank versus Briggs and Inamura next week, which should be a banger because a lot of both of those teams are pretty physical and bring a lot of energy. So I'm expecting that one to be pretty good. We then get Tony D'Angelo. He is in Rizzo's hotel room. They can't believe what Stax has done. They realize that they haven't heard from Luca, but D'Angelo says it's going to have to come to blows with him and Stax. Rizzo then wants them to work it out, but D'Angelo says we're beyond that point. He wants Rizzo to go to the safe house, and she reluctantly agrees to do so, while Stax and D'Angelo kind of work their problems out. We think of Ricky Saints. He is happy that Noam Dar won the Heritage Cup, but Lexis King is still getting his title shot. Ethan Page comes in for a distraction, and Lexis King is able to deck Saints and leave him laying. Andre Chase then opens a suitcase seemingly in a classroom. He pulls out the Chase U sweater, and he says, "We're fucking back, baby." So Chase U seemingly back, despite the fact that they lost a match to disband not too terribly long ago. So, and then we get our main event where Stephanie Vaquer retains her championship, defeating Roxanne Perez via pinfall following the SVB. And then after the match, Julia comes out for a stare down, and Jordan Grace is watching for the crowd. So seemingly neither woman are done with her after Stand and Deliver. But we, as far as best match, I would go with that last match. Again, not a ton of long matches on this one. I would say that last one got the most time, and those two women are pretty talented. But again, kind of building off of Stand and Deliver and kind of starting a lot of new stories. So a lot of promos and stuff like that. But Roxy and Stephanie, I think they could do better, but it was definitely a solid match nonetheless. We'll go from there to Dynamite. Tony Schiavone opens the show, and he brings out hip-hop legend Master P. He brings out the Ops, or Master P brings out the Ops, of course, coming off their trio's title win last week. Samoa Joe praises Master P and the work that he has done for the local university. Here are the Death Riders to jump the champions. Moxley has a stare down with Master P and then ends up getting choked out by Joe. The Elite then come out to jump Joe, but Swerve, Strickland, and Kenny Omega make the save, and then Joe says he is coming for the world title. We then get Christian. He takes the ROH television title from Nick Wayne and says the title win is due to Christian, of course. He says, see what happens when Nick Wayne listens to him. Wayne goes to grab the title back, but Cage says he and Mother Wayne celebrated extensively and said, if you stick to the plan, you actually win titles. And then Cage gives the title back to Nick Wayne. We then get Mark Briscoe. He defeats Ricochet via pinfall after reversing a roll-up into one of his own. After the match, Ricochet hits him with a chair and continues to beat him down and loads up the scissors that he's kind of been known to attack people with. And Kevin Knight comes out and makes the save before anything can go further. We then get Tony Schiavone. He brings out FTR, and then Stokely Hathaway, of all people, comes out with them to kind of handle the introduction of FTR. FTR shakes Schiavone's hand, and Hathaway says it's time to address the elephant in the ring. There are all kinds of criminals around here like Swerve Strickland, Hangman Page, and Jon Moxley, and none of them get punished. Based on that, Hathaway is getting the suspension ended for FTR, and their fine for attacking Tony Schiavone rescinded because he is their new agent. Cash Wheeler talks about beating up 2.0 and Daniel Garcia when they came after FTR first. Dax Harwood doesn't like the hostility, and that brings him to the Rock and Roll Express, who just happened to be in the crowd. They get in the ring, but Harwood won't talk to them. Harwood says the Midnight Express was a bit better and won't let them answer any questions that he asks them. Ricky Morton says this isn't happening, but Hathaway pulls out an FTR Living Legends killer shirt, and then the Spile Driver plants Ricky Morton, and the Paragon eventually comes out to make the save, but it was just a little too late. We then get the Young Bucks having their first match since they came back, where they defeat Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey when they hit the EVP trigger on Knight. We then get Toni Storm. She is ready for the winner of the Owen Hart Cup and to be on the red carpet this weekend. She says she is throwing out a championship eliminator for Collision, and Queen Amanada comes in and says she accepts the position of being in that title eliminator. We then get the Hurt Syndicate out to the ring. MVP brings up that every team they have beaten has disappeared and hands the mic to Bobby Lashley. But here is MJF. MJF brings up the good times he gave the Hurt Syndicate last week when he brought the ladies. He asked about the thumbs up again, and this time he gets one from Shelton Benjamin. It's not because of the women and the watch, though, but rather MVP convinced him. That works for MJF, so it's up to Lashley. So he puts his thumbs in the middle. MJF says if they work together, they can run wrestling, and he knows how things work around here like no one else. He even apologizes to getting off on the wrong foot with Lashley, and then offers him his car that he drove in with tonight, which was a nice sports car. They agree to go look at the car, and MJF hands Lashley the keys. Of course, Lashley and Benjamin drive off, and Lashley still gives them the thumbs down, and then MVP goes to walk around with MJF and continue having a conversation. We then get Hangman Page. He is ready to take out Kyle Fletcher to advance to the finals of the Owen, but MJF comes in to mock him. Page brings up the missing car, but MJF mocks him for not being able to win the big one, and he says, as usual, Page will choke in the Owen Cup tournament. We then get the Don Callis family, represented by Josh Alexander and Konosuke Takeshita, defeating Will Ospreay and Brody King when Alexander hits the C4 spike on King. After the match, they continue to beat them down, and Ospreay's save is cut off with a choke slam. Kyle Fletcher comes out, but also Hangman Page does. And then he seemingly kind of wards off the Don Callis family, but then Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero come in, and they take out Hangman as well. We then get Jamie Hayter defeating Chris Statlander via pinfall following the Haterade. This advanced her to the finals of the Owen to take on Mercedes Moné, and then of course Mercedes Moné comes out and they have a stare down to end the show. As far as best match, I would go with that Don Callis family versus Ospreay and King match. Ricochet and Briscoe was also quite good, and both featured in the top 5 at the end of the show. We'll then go from there to Impact. We open with a System defeating represented by Moose and JDC defeating Ace Austin and Trey Miguel when JDC hits a low blow and an inverted DVD Death Valley Driver on Trey Miguel. We then get video on Masha Slamovich versus Tessa Blanchard at Rebellion, with Slamovich wondering if this is all worth it. Tommy Dreamer comes in and says that Slamovich needs to defend her title for herself, not for anyone else, and that he and her trainer that trained her to be a superstar are very proud of her. We then get Mike Santana. He's in an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. Talks about how everyone woke up this morning to make choices. He sees Mustafa Ali as someone weak and the real addict. Ali is addicted to Santana, and now it's time to become a monster, to fight the monster. Ali won't have the choice because he can't run, and Santana is going to fight for everyone, including the people who haven't made it to this room just quite yet. This is a really good promo. I would suggest I know a ton of people don't watch TNA, but I would say if you could check out something from this show, I would check out this promo. It was really well done. Kind of like I said, it was kind of like in an AA meeting type area, but he really gets fired up, and it was really well done. So yeah, I would say if you don't check out the entire episode of Impact, I would at least check out this promo, which was really good. We then get Maggie Lee and Heather by Elegance. They call Ash by Elegance, who rants at them for getting them put into a four-way knockouts tag team match at Rebellion. She's pretty pissed about it. But Heather and the personal concierge say they'll figure a way to retain their titles and come out on the other end still as champions. We then get JC Jane. She defeats Rosemary via pinfall with a discus forearm following a distraction from her Fatal Influence buddies. After the match, Li Ying Li and Xia Brookside run in to make the save. Fatal Influence goes to Lee, but Santino then makes a 6-woman tag between the 6 women at Rebellion. We then get the Hardys. The Nemeths, they go to the Hardy compound, and we see Willow, who is Jeff Hardy's alter ego. He has his umbrella. He's waiting for them. They actually kind of go to a commercial break randomly, and the Nemeths are going to the compound, and Willow kind of starts dancing in the distance. Then a light flashes, and Willow disappears, leaving the umbrella behind. Jeff Hardy then jumps Nick and sends him into a tree before beating on him with an umbrella. They then fight into the back of a truck, and Jeff is backdropped off the top of the truck through some very well-placed tables. Nick then goes into the truck and finds a suitcase, and and it has one of the title belts inside. In a case with what is likely breaking and entering, Nick goes into the house, and we cut to Ryan getting jumped by Matt Hardy. As Nick wanders through the arcade, he finds a collection of titles and steals the other TNA tag team title, replacing it with a weight. Matt then has a premonition and spears Ryan into a pool. Then Ryan shows up in the arcade where Senior Benjamin gives him a ticket. Ryan walks in where Matt's kids are sitting in chairs and eating popcorn. Benjamin then sits down in one of the chairs next to Ryan, and we see a silent movie about his son, or Matt's son, Maxwell, beating Ryan in a match. Then Ryan wakes up on a psychiatrist's couch with Maxwell taking notes. Ryan talks about the issues that came with Nick's suspension and all of the pressure on him. Then Ryan walks up to Rebby playing the piano with her daughter by her side. Ryan and the daughter then argue over the Nemeths wanting the tag team titles. Then a bird appears, and Ryan is now goth randomly, and they're doing stand-up with one of Matt's other kids. The son asks if Ryan wants to hear a joke, and Ryan says sure, and Matt's son says, "Your career." Then Matt pulls Ryan out of the pool, but stops to chase Nick, who has the tag team titles, and one of Matt's sons grabs Nick, but gets shoved, and this triggers a fight with Matt, and Broken Jeff appears as the Nemeths escape with the championships. So just absolutely insanity at the Hardy compound as per usual. We'll go to our next match where Tessa Blanchard defeats Missa Kate via pinfall following the Buzzsaw DDT. After the match, Masha Slamovich runs in to take out Blanchard and actually ends up going after her arm, but Tessa is able to escape. We then look at Steve Macklin winning the International Championship at Unbreakable last week during WrestleMania week in their big event that they had. We then get Eric Young. He interrupts Macklin writing in his journal, and they drink to a toast. Macklin leaves and kind of passes out from, I guess, drinking too much, or maybe Young spiked his drink or something like that. And Young ends up burning the journal as Macklin is passed out on the ground. We then look back at Joe Hendry appearing at WrestleMania, losing to Randy Orton, and then the fact that he showed up at NXT and had the stare down with Obafemi. We then get our main event where Joe Hendry and Elijah defeat Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian when Elijah hit the Highwayman's Farewell on Kazarian for the win. And that was the best match of the show for me. A lot of build towards Rebellion there, and a lot of time was taken up with the Hardy Compound stuff. So again, a lot of build towards the pay-per-view and not necessarily a ton of time dedicated to matches. So I would go with that main event for the best match. We'll go then to SmackDown. John Cena again for WWE opens the show, and he has the same thing that he did on Raw pretty much. He makes the ring announcer do his special announcement, and he has the black with his name on the screen, like he has the last couple of times he's come out as well. So real basic, real nonchalant. But he gives the paper to the announcer again to do his special announcement. But before he can actually get anything out, Randy Orton comes out and interrupts. He talks about how we are coming up on 25 years to the day since they first shook hands. And all that time, Cena has not changed because he really was about hustle, loyalty, and respect. Now, though, it's clear that Cena has a void that needs to be filled. There have been all kinds of generations of kids looking up to him, and that has to mean something to Cena. Cena holds the record for the most wishes granted in the history of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but Orton isn't accepting that they were just numbers. Orton has figured out what Cena needs to fill that void. It's children. Imagine a bunch of square-jawed, big forearmed like Cena's running around. It would make Cena a better man and make him grow up. Cena accuses Orton of parent shaming him and says he doesn't have kids because he has spent 25 years raising everyone else's. Cena then says, "Oh, great, a 6-year-old just gave me the finger. Classy." As a kid, I guess, flipped him off in the crowd. That's why he doesn't have kids, but Orton says they aren't done yet. Cena has gone Hollywood, but the reality is he has nothing without these fans. Orton has done a lot of things in WWE and is a piece of furniture. He is here to stay, but Cena is just a guest. Cena has he says Cena used to think the same way, but now he tries to do something else, and the fans go for someone else. That is a dysfunctional relationship and pure manipulation from the fan. Orton calls him stupid, does the stupid thing that he always does, for thinking that he could come out here and make an impact on Cena in this bizarro world where he is a good guy and Cena is a bad guy. Wrestling has meant everything to Orton and his family for generations, and it will provide for his family until he is in the ground. Cena is tired of hearing about this and says that the count between them is 17 and 14, meaning Cena has 17 world titles and Orton has 14. When Cena leaves, though, the counter freezes because Orton can win another title, but that puts his count back at 1. He wants to erase 3 generations of Cena's family, of Orton's family, which is enough for Orton to issue a challenge for a title match right now. Cena says no, but he is willing to face him in St. Louis at Backlash. That's Orton's hometown, so Orton can spend the day with his family and come in at his best. That means when Orton fails, he has no excuses. Cena says this is as close to the title as Orton is going to get, and then he throws it at him to start the beating, and then he goes for a belt shot, but misses, and Orton is able to duck, and hits the RKO to take him out and leave him laying, and he poses with the title to end the segment. We then get a video for Fraxium, who's going to debut tonight, and they debut defeating Los Garzas when Axiom hits the Super Spanish Fly and Frazier hits the Phoenix Splash to finish him off. We then get Tiffany Stratton to brag about retaining her championship against Charlotte Flair. There were moments when she wasn't sure what was going to happen, and she kept hearing that she would be the next Charlotte. The reality is that she will be the one and only Tiffany Stratton. Jade Cargill comes out to interrupt, saying that while Stratton's win was impressive, it just put a bigger target on her back, and then it's time for Jade Cargill to show why she's here, because it's time to be a champion. Stratton is ready to fight and asks for a referee to come out. And then the referee comes out and we start a match. But the match ends in a no contest as Naomi attacks Jade a little bit into the match. And then after the match, Naomi beats down Jade until Stratton chases Naomi off. And then Nia Jax jumps Tiffany from behind and beats her down and leaves her laying with a Annihilator. When they get Jacob Fatu out with Solo Sikoa, Sikoa introduces Fatu and says he is the only one who wants him. The thing is, Fatu wouldn't be here without Sikoa because he brought Fatu here. He wouldn't be champion without. And then Fatu takes the mic. Fatu says he was going to bring the title to the family with or without Sikoa, and that's what he has done. The title makes him America's Most Wanted and a menace to society, and you better get in where you fit in. LA Knight then comes in to say he dropped Fatu on his head, and Fatu had to grab the rope to kick out. It can happen to anyone on any night, but he wants his title back. Drew McIntyre then comes in and says it is hard to be him, tall, dark, and handsome with big guns. He just went through a violent match at WrestleMania, and he wants to say it was a pleasure to embarrass Damian Priest. His next plan was to challenge John Cena, but Randy Orton cut the line again. He says it's always the Nepo wrestling entertainment around here. Speaking of which, hey, Bloodline. McIntyre then wants to fight the baddest champion around here, but Knight says let him know when his mush mouth is done. McIntyre calls Knight's latest title reign a joke. Knight says he would say something about McIntyre's latest title reign, but he can't remember when that was. The challenge is on, and Nick Aldis says not so fast. And tonight, McIntyre and Knight will have a number one contenders match to see who faces Jacob Fatu next. We then get Zelina Vega. She defeats Chelsea Green via pinfall with the code red after the Secret Hervis had been ejected, and this makes Zelina Vega the new women's United States champion. So pretty nonchalant loss there by Chelsea Green, but pretty cool for Zelina to finally get some credit for kind of being a consistent person on TV every time she goes out there. So good for her. We then look at Carmelo Hayes winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal last week. Miz is proud of him, and that's why he sacrificed himself last week so he could win. Now that he has a gift for Hayes, a rather large Andre head on a necklace. Miz is so inspired that he wants to show everyone something in the ring. Miz is then out. He's wearing a pretty nice white suit, and then he says he has been a featured part of WrestleMania since 2007, but this year he was nowhere to be seen. Miz main evented WrestleMania and successfully defended the title against John Cena, which even Cody Rhodes couldn't do. When Rey Mysterio was injured, Miz doesn't get that spot rather than someone who's only been here 2 weeks. When KO goes down, an internet meme got his spot instead. He is sick and tired of people showing up and getting his spot. And the lights go out, of course. We see a bunch of candles on the stage, and Aleister Black makes his return. And he obviously does the little entrance where he rises from the ground, which was pretty cool back in the day, and it's still pretty awesome. And he actually had his own old music back, which was really cool as well. They chant "Welcome back," and then he goes into the ring, and then the Miz charges him, and he hits the Black Mass to take him out. We then get Bianca Belair. She's back in the backstage. She has a few broken fingers from WrestleMania, but she is proud of the match that they had. Belair is fine with what Sky did at WrestleMania, but Ripley slid into the match where she didn't belong. For now, Belair is focused on healing her hand so she can get back home to SmackDown when she is fully healed. We then get Nia Jax. She runs into Naomi, says she doesn't care about her quest for revenge. But Naomi just tells her to proceed with caution, which leaves Jax a little bit confused. We then get LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre, but again, it ends in a no contest when Damian Priest attacks Drew McIntyre. After the match, Priest chokeslams McIntyre through the announcer's table, and then Priest and Knight get into an argument, but Jacob Fatu shows up, hits a huge suicide dive to take them both out, and then does a triple jump moonsault to leave both men laying. So he hits one on each. We then have R-Truth run into John Cena backstage and offers him help anytime he needs it. Cena walks off without saying anything. Jimmy Uso then comes in and asks when Cena changed. R-Truth says there are two sides to every story, and he wants to be John Cena when he grows up. And of course, he walks away, and Jimmy says, "You're already grown up, man." Obviously stating the obvious. But I think to really cement this this heel turn for Cena, he really needs to beat the absolute mess out of R-Truth at some point. So hopefully we see that in the future. But then we go to our main event, which was a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships, which was an absolute classic where the Street Profits defeat DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns to retain their championships. Absolute best match of the show and 100% the best match of the week as well, as we'll get to in just a minute. And we'll close our week with Collision. We open with Swerve Strickland. He comes out with Prince Nana. Before he can really get anything out, though, the Young Bucks come out and say Swerve has a match tonight, and it is right now, despite him not being in his attire. We then get Swerve Strickland defeating Blake Christian via pinfall following the JML driver. After the match, Lee Johnson runs in to help his teammate, Blake Christian. But they both get cleared out of the ring. The Young Bucks then come in to beat Swerve down, and Kenny Omega comes in to make the save for him. We then get Samoa Joe. He thinks Jon Moxley has some simple motivations because he benefits from the chaos he causes. Joe is not a problem who is disturbed by chaos, and he is coming for John's championship. We then get Toni Storm defeating Queen Hamanana via pinfall following the Storm Zero. They shake hands after the match. We then get Jeff Jarrett and his crew randomly. They yell at Sanjay Dutt for being late, and then they say that Jay Lethal is ready to be the new idea man for the squad. We then get a hologram answering Max Caster's open challenge and quickly finishes him off with the portal bomb. We then get Crew, Leo Rush, and Action Andretti defeating Top Flight when Andretti hits a springboard 450 on Darius for the win. We then get Anna Jay returning, defeating Taylor Gainey via pinfall following the Gory Bomb. After the match, Penelope Ford comes in to brawl with Anna Jay, and Megan Bain comes in and lays Jay out to finish the segment. We then get Mercedes Moné. She is ready to face Jamie Hayter in the finals of the Owen Hart tournament at Double or Nothing and cement her place in the All-In women's title match. We then get Bandito retaining his ROH championship against Drilistico via pinfall following the 21-plex. We then get Big Bill and Brian Keith in the backstage. They want to win matches and hurt people. Therefore, they want to face the gates of agony. We then get Roosh defeating AR Fox via pinfall following the Horns. We then get Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, known as Roppongi Vice. They say they're finally back together, and they end up beating up the Outrunners backstage. We then get video for Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Page, which is the semifinals of the Owen men's tournament. And then we get our main event where FTR defeats the Paragon, represented by Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong when they hit the spike pile driver on Roddy Strong. After the match, they continue to beat them down, but Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia has a crowbar with him, makes the save to kind of end the show. And then Garcia says that FTR didn't stick the knife deep enough, so revenge is coming for them from him. That match was absolutely the best match of the show. Solid wrestling card throughout, but continuing to push some stuff towards Double or Nothing, which is their next pay-per-view, and continuing to kind of build the Owen finals and the Owen semifinals that have yet to happen and stuff like that. So solid show to end the week. But I would go with FTR and Paragon for the best match. And as far as TV match rankings, number one, like I said earlier, is the TLC from SmackDown. Best match of the week, one of the best TV matches of the year so far, I would say. Ospreay and King versus the Don Callis family would be number two. That FTR Paragon match would be number three for me. Number four would be the Liv and Raquel versus Becky and Lyra match from Raw. And Ricochet and Briscoe from Dynamite would be number five for me. So definitely a solid week of wrestling. Again, like I said, TNA is building towards Rebellion. Everybody else is kind of recovering from WrestleMania. And AEW is kind of building towards Double or Nothing. So a lot of stuff going on. Some solid wrestling. Not the greatest week by any chance, but like I said, that TLC match was one of the best TV matches of the year and one of the better ones you'll see probably in a while, just because it was really built around that. They didn't give them a WrestleMania spot, so they gave them this special spot in this SmackDown After Mania situation. We had a couple of returns with Rusev and Aleister Black in WWE, so really solid week. But thank you for joining me as always, and we'll see you next time.
You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot or fell off, I'm still hot, knock your shell off. My money stacked fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business, I live this, it's automatic, I win this. So you hear those horns, you finish. A soldier, and I stay under you fighting. Plus I'm storming on you chumps like I'm thunder and lightning. Ain't no way you breaking me, kid, I'm harder than nails. Plus I keep it on lock like I'm part of the jail. I'm slaughtering stale competition. I got the whole block wishing they could run with my division, but they gone fishing with no bait. Kid, your boy hold weight. I got my soul straight. I brush your mouth like Colgate. In any weather, I'm never better. Your boy's so hot, you never catch me in the next man's sweater. If they hate, let them hate. I drop your whole clan. Lay your ass down for the 3-second tan. Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. You can't see me, my time is now.
It's gon' be what it's gon' be. 5 pounds of courage, buddy base, 10 pants with a gold tee. It's a war dance, a victory step. A raw stance is a gift, and you insist it's my rep. John Cena trademark, y'all are so-so. And talk about the bread you make, but don't know the recipe for dough. Aiming guns in all your photos, that's a no-no. When this pop, your lip lock, your big talks a blatant no-so. See what happens when the ice age melt. You see monetary status is not what matters, but it helps. I'm rocking Timepiece by Benny, if any. The same reason y'all could love me is the same reason y'all condemn me. A man's measured by the way that he thinks, not clothing lines, ice links, leather and minks. I spent 20 plus years seeking knowledge of self. So for now, Mark Fredka's living life for wealth.